அடுத்ததாக சாய் கீதன் லம்போதரன் அவர்கள் ஒரு சிறு ஆங்கிலத்தில் அந்த டைட்டில் about Sangam literature.
முந்தி சொல்லப்பட்ட இலக்கியத்தின் ஆங்கில வடிவத்தை கந்தவன ஐயா ஆங்கிலத்தில் கொடுத்திருக்கிறார். அப்ப அதை அவர் வாசிக்க போறார். அவ்வளவுதான். Just an attempt to introduce the things to next generation.
Sai Gita Lambod. Okay.
I'll be talking, or I'll be reading about Sangam literature. So the first thing, there's two articles that I'll be reading. The first one is an introduction about Sangam literature. And the second is an introduction to Tamil literature, which talks about the three Sangams. And it's a brief summary of the paper submitted by Dr. N. Subramaniam at Mayagam on March 29, 2014. About Sangam literature. Sangam poetry laid down the foundation for the entire Tamil poetic tradition that has flourished for over 2,000 years. It is the root of the massive Tamil literary tree from which branches have spread in many different directions. The predominantly secular Sangam poems influenced the later religious works of Jain, Buddhist, Saivite, and Vaishnavite poets. The universality of emotions, which are revealed through the natural elements of the five landscapes, has made the poetry timeless and for all cultures. There are a total of 18 Sangam Tamil books, 10 long songs, Pattu Pattu, and 8 anthologies, Ettuthogai, for a total of 2,381 poems written by 473 poets, 30 of which were female poets, and including 102 poems written by anonymous authors. There are 26,350 lines of poems. 16 poets are responsible for about 50% of the total production. So that's about 1,177 out of the 2,279 non-anonymous poems. They are Kabalar, Ammuvanar, Orambogiyar, Peyanar, Odalandeyar, Paranar, Marudan Ilanagar, Palai Padiya Perin Kodengo, Abbayar, Nallantuvanar, Nakkirar, Rosanar, Mamulanar, Kayamanar, Perankundur Kilar, and Perisadanar. Scholars differ on the period of the Sangam books, but many agree that they are between 300 BC and 380. Most of the poems are secular in nature. There are very few references of religions in the early anthologies. The poets, both men and women, came from all backgrounds: kings, noblemen, learned men, doctors, businessmen, teachers, metalsmiths, goldsmiths, cattle herders, etc., etc. In addition, there's Tolgapiyam, the ancient text which was written many, many years before the poems. Sangam poetry is highly conventionalized. It's best to understand the tines and the concepts of Mudal, Kadil, Uri, Ullurai to enjoy them best. Tolgapiyam, Kalaviyal and Irayanar Agapporul, and Nambi's Agapporul Vilakkam are the three books that deal with Sangam Agam conventions. Kalaviyal and Irayanar Agapporul is the first book on Agam according to Kamal Zivalabil, and it was written even before Tolgapiyam, Puruladiharam section, which also dealt with Agam conventions, among the many other topics. Aingururu, Nattinai, Kuruntogai, Agananuru, and Kalittogai are Agam books. Purananuru and Padittupatru are Puram books. Pariparal has both Agam and Puram songs. Agam, interior, and Puram, exterior, are not only thematic divisions of the Sangam poems, they are more than that. The two categories are related to each other by context and by contrast. Agam and Puram are very old Tamil words. Agam means interior, heart, mind, self, kin, house, family, inland, settlement, earth, love poems, and codes of conduct appropriate to Agam. Puram has opposite qualities to match each of these. An introduction to Tamil literature. General information about the scope and types of Tamil literature. Tamil literature can be classified into folk literature and classical literature. Folk literature, such as stories, proverbs, poems, etc., although prevailed for a long time in auditory form, were later preserved through writing. The authors of folk literature are not known. Classical literature refers to creative writings of learned people from Sangam period onwards. These writings were preserved in written olas, which are seasoned palmar leaves, and in stone inscriptions. Mental and historical factors influencing Tamil literary development. Sangam period existed before 3rd century CE. Literature belonging to this period is mainly found in two ancient collections of 18 books called Attittogai and Pattu. The Sangam works were classified by their themes as Agam and Puram. Works of subjective themes were called Agam, as in Agananuru, and objective themes were called Puram, as in Purananuru. Agananuru and Purananuru are two of the 8 collections found in Attittogai. The other Sangam book, Pattu, is a collection of 8 long poems and can be considered as a development process of short poems collected in Attittogai. Thematically, Sangam works present the advanced and cultured life of the ancient Tamil people. Following Sangam works arose didactic books that are found in Padanangul Kanakku, the minor 18 anthology. Of these works of ethics, the most popular are Tirukkural and Naladiyar, Silappadigaram and Manimegalai. These two epics view the totality of human life. It is believed that these epics could have been written during the 4th to 5th century CE. The social and cultural aspects reflected in these works differ from those recorded in Sangam literature. Silappadigaram contains accounts of religious and cultural details of ancient Tamil Nadu reigned by the Sera, Chola, and Pandya emperors, while Manimegalai, which is a continuation of Silappadigaram's story, engages in analyzing people's life based on the ethical and moral philosophy of the Buddhist religion. These two works also highlight injustice and corruption that prevailed amongst the ruling class. Another point worthy of noting is the practice of prostitution in those days. Ilango, the author of Silappadigaram, and Sathanar, the author of Manimegalai, draw our attention to the fact women suffered as a result of male domination. Devotional movement and devotional literature. Although religion was treated in Sangam works and in books such as Silappadigaram, Manimegalai, Tolkappiyam, etc., religious beliefs and associated activities gained importance in Tamil Nadu during the period between 6th to 9th century CE as a result of devotional movement carried on by Saiva and Vaishnava saints. This devotional movement gave birth to devotional literature. By the 10th century, this movement began to spread in the northern part of India. The literature produced by this devotional movement that originated in Tamil Nadu is thought to have influenced later campaign-based literature, such as Gandhian literature, Dravidian literature, Marxist literature, women literature, Dalit literature, etc. Changes in methods of expression. Composing the verse called Virittam. This differs from the types of verses used in Sangam works and subsequent collection called Padaninkul Kanakku. Virittam is a flexible and convenient form for not only to express more opinion, but also to allow musical rendering. Another addition to the first devotional movement is the works of mystics. Sant Tirumular, the author of Tirumandram, is considered to be the pioneer of mystic literature. Mystics like Sivavakyar, Kudambai Sittar, and others whose tradition influenced even Ramalinga Swamigal, Bharadiyar, followed him. A second devotional movement developed following the 12th to 13th century CE in Tamil Nadu. Arunagirinadar, Kumaraguruvarar could be considered as the leaders of this movement. Tradition of minor literature and epics. This kind of literature includes Ula, Kalambagam, Kuravanji, Kovai, Padigam, Parani, Pallu, Pillai Tamil, etc. These are also called Prabandham. Prabandham forms were used mainly to praise either gods or kings. Following 7th to 8th century CE, epics were employed to praise gods, kings, and heroes of uncommon powers. The first of its kind was Srivaka Sindamani, sung by Tiruttakkathevar, but its origin is not Tamil, as in the case of Silapadigaram or Manimekhalai. Srivaka Sindamani is related to Sanskrit. Another form of Sanskrit epic rendered in Tamil is Ramayana by Kambar. These and other epics employ Virittam well to narrate the stories. Kambar and other poets, a comparison. Poets differ in their outlook. Some confine themselves to their own country's political, not with their country, but with the whole world. Kambar belongs to the second category. We see him through his epic Kambar Ramayana as a poet who is concerned about the welfare of people, the whole world. Hence his works propagate justice, equality, benevolence, etc. It is worth noting that Ilango and Satanar precede Kambar in global outlook and humanitarian values. Stagnation in creative writing until the time of Bharati. Following Kambar, an imitative trend became predominant in Tamil literary field. The constructive and expressive style of Tiruvilayar Puranam, Kandapuranam, Villipparadam, Nalavenba, Naidadam, Thembavani, Sirapuranam, Rachaniya Yatriyam, etc. are that of previous epic style. During this period, many kinds of prabandham were aplenty. Mahavitwan Meenachi Sundaram Pillai, a 19th century poet, alone authored more than 40 prabandhams. This kind of imitative tendency resulted in a lack of creativeness. This attributed to the writer's intention of following and preserving past literary tradition. This attitude, critics say, was due to the fall of the Chola kingdom in the 13th century CE, and the following subjugation of Tamil Nadu by foreign and other Indian powers. History of modern Tamil literature. Changes in the social condition of the Tamil people in Tamil Nadu and Ulam during the mid-19th century CE could be considered as a boundary line between ancient and modern literature. These changes are the result of education, democratic ideas, advent of printing press, growth of communication media, and more. Easy access to the newly printed ancient Ola books gave birth to modern literature. Mayuram, Vedanayagam Pillai, P. Rajam Iyer, A. Madhavaya, Mahakavi Supramanya Bharadiyar, and others appeared as the morning stars signaling the dawn of modern literature. The second stage of the development of modern literature is the Western style of writing short stories and novels. In the 1970s, there appeared a postmodern trend in Tamil literary writing.